left, right.
Hello, friends, and thank you for joining me in episode 32 of SipTalk. It's one of my favorite topics, building a bar. All right, we're going to get started. Enjoy it. This is SipTalk. Grab a drink and enjoy.
Of course, let's go.
Cheers.
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 Hey, by the way, if you're watching this podcast, we got some bonus content for you. I threw in some photos of the bar that I built when I lived in South Carolina with James in our apartment, and also got photos of the bar that was built in Adam's apartment. Both very cool bars. I'll include those. You can check them out about halfway through the podcast. So enjoy it. Oh man! All right, we are live on Sip Talk episode 32. Today we're going to be talking about building a bar. I think that is a topic that we all have a lot we could really talk about. James is coming live from the beach.
From Wilmington, North Carolina. Let me show you what we're dealing with here.
Let's see. Ooh, look! You see this? You can see that in the thing. It's not bad. Weather looks good. Waves look weak.
Yeah, waves are a little small. It's a little sticky out, but nice to be down here and have a little vacation from work. I would love to have the waves and everything as the background, but the lighting's all screwy. So we got to do it with a boring white background instead.
Yeah, fair enough. So this is kind of a topic I've been, it's been in the back of my mind for a while. I wanted to wrap my mind around it kind of with some solid ideas when it comes to building a bar. I'm talking about building a home bar. So, I really want to make sure we cover all the bases so that you're good on a regular basis. You come home, you make a cocktail a couple nights a week. You have guests over, you're good with guests. And I want to make this cheap. So, what are your initial thoughts when it comes to building a home bar, James?
Well, it's going to be, how deep do you want to go? Do you want to have an actual physical bar that you can stand behind and serve drinks from to people? Or do you just want to have all the tools and ingredients that you would want in a home bar with which you can make the majority of cocktails?
Okay. Andres, what are you thinking when I talk about building a bar?
I'm looking to sacrifice myself first, because at the end of the night, it's my bar. I'm the one who's going to get there, and I had a rough day. I want to just get there, make myself the drink that I want, and go to bed. Or if I had an amazing day, I also want to go home, pre-game, and then go out, meet my friends. So those things in my head are like the priority. Then if I want to do a full bar, that's a whole different thing. In my case, I think it's just the basics: vodka, gin, tequila, mezcal, and scotch or whiskey. Those are the 5, 6 spirits.
Those are not the basics.
So, but that's what we got to get into, is what does it look like when it comes to basics? What are the staples? Which way you're leaning when it comes to skimping on the basics? And if you want a couple of mixers, you may not go with this or that. So we'll take this 2 parts. What I want to talk about first is what you need to have behind the bar. And then we can touch a little bit on constructing an actual bar that you can serve, or having a little bar cart or something like that you can serve from. Because these are all different levels, but at the very least, whether you have a bar cart or you have a physical bar, it's got to be stocked. Yeah. And I think from that we could list 50 different bottles that you're going to stock the bar with. What I want to start with is a price limit on. We need to establish what is a reasonable cost, and we got to stay below that number.
So I can start you all off with $100 as your budget for just the liquor. We'll talk about the supplies, the glassware, the shakers, all that stuff separately. But for just the liquor budget at $100, you can hit pretty much everything that you need.
I know. We're in New York.
Yeah, but
We're in New York.
but let's aim for that, give or take $100. Let's start right there. I got 100 on the chart here, and so give me your first 3 bottles, James.
So if you want to build a bar that you can make most of the basic cocktails with, you're going to need 5 bottles. You're going to need vodka, gin, rum, and tequila. And then I would recommend for your 5th bottle, you're going to want a bottle of triple sec. Triple sec is one of those sneaky liquors that you'd be surprised how many cocktails it's in. So your 4 basic liquors: vodka, gin, rum, tequila, and then one liqueur. And I would recommend it be triple sec if you're trying to have as wide a range as possible.
All right,
Those are your 5 bottles.
So let's price this out, Andres. I'll give you a minute on this. So what would be a decent vodka? Because you don't want to serve somebody shit vodka. You don't.
Right.
You're not going high end.
No, you want to go mid tier on all of these.
Well,
and you should be able to do about $20 a bottle for each of these. You can even go cheaper with the triple sec. You should be able to do under 15 for the triple sec. For the vodka, I personally like Tower vodka. The Texas-based vodka, very similar to Tito's, but about half the price. You can now my price reference is going to be Charleston prices, which is obviously going to be cheaper than New York.
Yeah.
But in Charleston, Tower vodka goes for like between $14 and $16 for a 750.
On the label, the way they market it, it's like a gluten-free, low-calorie.
Yeah, no, Tito's is.
There's not as much marketing or whatever, but in terms of like vodkas, you just need to be one step above well, because the difference between a mid-tier vodka and a high-tier vodka is not significant. You'll see differences with other liquors when you go from mid to high tier, but for me, vodka is the most basic of spirits. In theory, it should be just the grain alcohol. When they distill it, it's going to be distilled to 195, 198 proof, and then it'll be watered back down to the 80 proof that you serve it at. So
you're saying Tower vodka. What do you have for gin?
for gin, I've always been a fan of Tanqueray, but that's a little more expensive. So if you want to go for a more budget-minded gin, then I've been a fan of either Swordsman or New Amsterdam gin.
New Amsterdam. I think that.
Okay, and then what are you going with for rum?
Rum, if you're going to go with light rum, I've always been a fan of Cruzan.
Really?
It's a little more of it's at about the same price point as Bacardi, maybe a little cheaper, but I find it to be a little bit smoother and a little bit better in terms of flavor profile. Now, I would say if you're buying a single bottle of rum, go with either white or gold. I'm a huge fan of dark rum, but it's a little less flexible for general drink making. So I would say Cruzan, either white or gold, and that's going to be right in that $15 to $16 range for a 750 bottle.
Okay. Hey, if you guys are watching on live, I want to know what you would have in your staple bar. Tori, I'm guessing that's like a bottle of rosé. But let me know what items, what bottles you want in your staple bar if you're building a home bar. Okay, so you get the Cruzan for the rum. What is the what's the tequila?
Tequila, I've always been a fan of Luna Azul in terms of for trying to hit this $15 to $20 price point. It's a 100% agave tequila, and I would go with either the Blanco or the Reposado of Cruzan, and that should run you, again, in the 14 to 17 range. I would also say that it's a good idea to have a bourbon in stock, and I've always been a fan of Evan Williams.
You're buying yourself the bourbon, actually, right now. You are buying yourself the bourbon because the prices you're looking at.
If you get yourself the bourbon, I've always been a fan, again, trying to keep it below $20 per bottle. Evan Williams, 1783, is a step above regular old Evan Williams. Not going to break the bank, but has a little bit more smoothness, a little more flavor going on with it, and that's a good bourbon to go with in the below $20 range.
Okay. And then what was the tequila again?
Luna Azul.
Luna Azul. Okay, and then just your general triple sec.
For the triple sec, if you want to spend a lot of money, you can go with something like Cointreau or Grand Marnier. But my recommendation is you don't need to spend that kind of money, and you can go with there's a couple different brands that are basically well liqueurs. The one that comes to mind is Dekuyper, Dekuyper, and they make a 70 proof version of triple sec that is perfect for what you're looking to do.
70 proof on a triple sec sounds.
70 proof?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
When I stocked back when I had a home bar regularly stocked, the triple sec that I had was the Dekuyper 70 proof variant of their triple sec, and it worked great.
Oh, 70 proof. So that means it's what, 35%?
Okay, so for your home bar, you got Tower Vodka, you got a New Amsterdam gin, or a Tanqueray. You get Cruzan Reposado. How much does that cost?
No, Cruzan would be either white or gold.
Okay, a gold Cruzan, all right. And then you got Luna Azul for tequila.
Yeah, either a Blanco or a Reposado.
Okay.
And then Evan Williams 1783 for the bourbon. And Dekuyper 70 proof triple sec. I would also recommend having a set of Angostura bitters. Bitters go a long way for a lot of cocktails.
Bitters
It's
here.
a loss.
Bitters. They're about $10 here. I notice pretty regularly in grocery stores.
Yeah, that's about the price you'd be paying for like I think it's like a 3 or 4 ounce bottle. It lasts a long time. You're gonna get a lot of mileage out of that $10 bottle.
All right. All right, Andreas, you're up. What's your $100?
It's not gonna be $100 because I don't
Well,
have
it's gotta
prices
be.
from-
It's gotta be $100. So
I'm gonna sound bougie right now, but it's not like I normally go to a place and order vodka from like the well. I normally go out
But
there
so
and
what
I
I'm saying is I think where we want to be is you order a drink, you order well, and they pull the bottle out of the well, and you're like,
Okay.
oh, okay.
If it is I've seen places like Ferns, for example. They have on well, they have Tito's.
Okay, yeah.
But a bottle of Tito's here is $45. That's pretty much it.
A bottle of Tito's, $7.50.
$25.
What's a $7.50 Tito's in South Carolina? Can anybody knows what Tito's vodka is? Tell me how much that should cost.
Tito's vodka in South Carolina is probably in like the 26 to 30 range.
Here it's gonna be between $40 and $45 a bottle. That'll be my first as vodka. Gin Hendrix. But if I don't go for Hendrix,
So you just got called bougie, by the way.
it just, and I'm not saying Tito's is like the best. But one of the best is for me, my point of view, as vodka is Russian Standard. Standard.
That's good.
That's good vodka.
So you got Tito's. What's your gin?
Hendrix.
Okay, Hendrix. What's the bottle of Hendrix down there, James?
I don't know. I'm looking at. I don't buy Hendrix.
Yeah.
Actually, Tito's is cheaper. Tito's, I'm looking at about $18 in South Carolina. I'm looking at prices right now. Hendrix gin.
We're gonna
in
go by
South
your
Carolina.
because they extend a little further when it comes to outside of
Hendrix gin, $31.50 or so for a $7.50 ballpark.
Okay, so that's your two $20 bottles. You wait, 32 you said?
$31.50 for a $7.50 at Hendrix.
So okay, so I think $20 a bottle seems pretty reasonable. So 2 bottles in, you should be at $40. You're at $50. Now what?
No, it comes to the next thing part. I'm not a.
So right now you could have a glass of vodka, a glass of gin, or a glass of vodka and gin. You know, it'd be a really good drink, James, is milk and vodka.
Oh yeah.
White Russian.
Not what is not.
They call that tug.
That's Eric's. That was Eric. He invented this drink, and then he sold us on this drink, and the one that he made, and he's going out. I invented this drink. It's the best drink. It's milk and vodka. And
And if you screw up if you mix it too much on the vodka side, you might actually curdle the milk.
Well, he couldn't drink it. It was not a good drink.
No.
So you Andres got a bottle of Tito's, bottle of Hendrix. Then what?
Now it's what, rum?
It's your call. It's your bar.
So yeah, if it was my bar, I would just beat those things and I'll do mezcal and tequila only.
Okay, so there you go.
If I go for mezcal, I'll go for either Vita.
How much is a bottle of Vita? James, you're
It's cheap. It's not mezcal. It's really hard to fuck up on mezcal because mezcal is a fucked up to begin with.
true, but
Yeah.
I've had some bad mezcal.
What's the one that you have behind you? That's what is it? Lobos?
Montelobos.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And then when it comes to tequila, it's either Clase Azul or Espolon, or the one that George Clooney has, Casamigos.
Yeah, you're going to be over the $100 easy.
Okay, so then this is what you got in your bar: Tito's, Hendrix, Vita Mezcal, and Casamigos.
Yeah, that's it. I don't need anything else.
I mean, I think that's reasonable too,
Yeah,
but that's different. James is going for versatility.
Yeah, I'm
You're
going for
going
something that I
for-
like, something that I will drink. It's
Okay.
me first, and then my guests.
So Tito's, a liter bottle of Tito's in Boston, we're looking at $22.99. What's
not
Tito's?
cheap.
Tito's is a
Not
type of
expensive.
vodka. It comes from Texas. It's built in Texas. It's good vodka.
It is
Uh,
small.
I don't connect with the branding. I'm not crazy about the branding. I don't know.
No, the branding is what it sold me to begin with because I
It
was with
sold
this chicken.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was with this chicken, so like I love vodka, but I need this specific kind of vodka. I want something gluten free. I want something low in calorie. And then he came out with this bottle, and literally on the front it just says gluten free,
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Made, and then low calories. So
Alright.
like,
Well, the thing is, all vodka is going to have the same calories because the only calories that are coming from it are going to be coming from the alcohol themselves. There's no added, by rule, basically, if it's a vodka, it can't have anything added to it. So the low calorie thing is, it's correct advertising, but it's not like that vodka is different from any other. An 80 proof vodka going from a $10 bottle to a $100 bottle, they're going to have the exact same calories.
in New York, for example, you have a lot of chicks that lately you and I've seen
Everybody
drinking
wants
rosé,
blue.
doing all of these spike seltzers, and all of the spike seltzers probably have the same amount of calories as a beer, but they advertise it as low calories.
Because exactly.
And it's
because
smooth.
It's a fucking seltzer.
Exactly, it's
yeah.
a seltzer.
And
And you
people
see
just
chicks
don't see through,
drinking it.
no sugar added butter type advertising. It's like this butter has no sugar added. This is a healthier option. So James, are you sourcing from somewhere? I guess on the internet.
Yeah.
So let me work on this bar. I want to start out with a bottle of vodka. But I think every bar should have a bottle of vodka. I'm not a huge vodka fan. What do I have at home for vodka?
You don't have to be a huge vodka fan to recognize its importance in a role in a bar.
Your bar doesn't have vodka. Your
I have
bar
so much vodka.
doesn't have vodka.
I know I have 3 bottles of Belvedere. I got some
Right.
Godfather movie type, Godfather TV show type autographed bottle of vodka. I got a bottle of Ciroc. I got
Is that Ciroc?
I got the golden or the Crystal Head vodka. I got a ton of vodka. We just don't.
Okay, so all right, what brand of vodka are you going for your bar, Justin?
Well, one thing I want a vodka that's under $20.
Not in New York.
Give me a couple of names.
Smirnoff.
No, I wouldn't want to do Smirnoff.
That's
James, give me a couple of names. What does a bottle of Grey Goose cost?
it's,
Grey Goose is expensive. Grey Goose is in like the 35 range.
Okay, how about Belvedere?
It's more expensive. More expensive than Grey Goose.
Belvedere is gonna be probably in the same price range.
Somebody give me a good vodka brand. Can somebody give me a good
I'm using South Carolina prices. Grey Goose comes in at 26. Belvedere comes in at 22.
Okay, so 22 for a 750 at Belvedere. I'm going Belvedere. That's usually my go-to. So 22 on that. For vodka. I'm gonna go with the gin. I like New Amsterdam. What's a 750? Because I'm just going to try to hit as many bases as possible in this one, and be able to concoct a couple of good drinks. What is a bottle of New Amsterdam go for?
South Carolina, $14.
$14. I like New Amsterdam. I mean, I don't usually drink that much gin. Actually I do. If I drink
You
gin,
do Negronis every night.
well, true. I do a lot of Negronis too. But I would do a New Amsterdam with a Negroni. When I was batch making the Negronis, I was using New Amsterdam here. So I like New Amsterdam.
Did you batch?
Not today,
Oh,
but I've been pre-making the Negronis. It's an easy drink. It's 3 parts.
equal parts of everything.
So Belvedere, New Amsterdam, and then I'm gonna do an Evan Williams. How much is a 750 Evan Williams?
I would recommend going with the 1783 version. Let's take a look. So, hold on, I've got a whole bunch of options to pick from here. Normal label Evan Williams is 12. Looking for the 1783. So 12 for the regular 1783 clocks in at 1650.
Right, I'm going regular 12. What's a bottle of Montelobos go for?
Like $46.
Price.
41.
Okay, do me a quick search. Just throw me a few names on the cheaper end when it comes to mezcal.
Looking for it right now.
Mirador, Malin Liqueur.
Chicaru for 30. Mezcal's expensive, dude.
I know. Give me another.
Sacrificio is 23.
I don't know. I can't vouch for it. Give me another.
Monte Alban is $24.99.
It is so big. It is
Wait, does it have a yellow label?
Yes.
Oh, it tastes like ant piss, like fire ant piss. It's disgusting. That's the
Okay.
one a little Cusano in there. That'll fuck you up.
Luminar is $25.99.
What was Vita again?
I can't find that.
Um,
I would say you're reasonably looking between 30 and $40 for a decent bottle of mezcal.
yeah, so we'll say mezcal at 30. Okay, and
so
then
that mezcal is basically just for special occasions.
yeah, and then how much is a Terramana? What's a Terramana look like? A Terramana tequila. Anyway, I gave you that one on Sunday. That's a good package.
I'm looking.
Here it was pretty cheap.
Oh, speaking of tequila and mezcal, are gonna get more expensive because of
Terramana's coming in about $30 as well.
$30?
Yep.
it's because of the tariffs.
You got to make some sacrifices here to keep the budget reasonable.
Give me a good tequila. I
I
like.
already did.
What do you call this in Patron?
Yeah, but I don't know that tequila, so I can't really.
Luna Azul. I've had plenty of Luna Azul. That was kind of our main when I was bartending. That was our main tequila that we served.
Oh, is that that's a blue bottle with the azul on white letters, right?
Yeah, it's a clear bottle with a black label and white letters.
Okay, I'm gonna add some bitters.
Bitters for $10.
Oh, Milagros tequila.
Yeah, I don't know that one though.
James, do you know that one? Milagros tequila?
Yeah, it's expensive. Well, it's not too expensive. About $27 for a 750. I've had it before. It's okay.
We'll make a bottle of Dewar's.
Dewar's probably gonna clock you right around 25 to $30.
It's pretty cheap here. I'm guessing. I'll say 25, but I think it's overstating down there.
Total one clocks in at $20, but that's South Carolina prices.
Okay, well, we're going by South Carolina prices because 30 is a good price point for tequila. The Rock Tequila is a Terramana, and that's at $30. So I may be ditching that bottle in a second. 22 on the Belvedere, 14 on the New Amsterdam. That's 36. Evan Williams, 12. 48. We get the Mezcal. Montelobos, you said was 30.
Yep.
That's 70. And then I got the Dewar's is 20, and the bitters brings us to 100. That's without a tequila. I'm
But
gonna.
the mezcal does an impression of tequila, so
It doesn't what?
does an impression of tequila. You can kind of you're gonna get slightly different flavors,
You
but
can make-
mezcal and tequila.
Yeah, you can make tequila cocktails with mezcal. You just need a
Yes.
super flavor. Yeah, so I'm gonna drop the Terramana on mine. So that brings me to 100, and I think that's pretty reasonable.
I think $100 is like a super low budget.
So James, you threw in the triple sec, and the rum. Whereas,
Yeah, I'm coming in at about $15 a bottle. 6 bottles brings me right to $100 after tax.
So, but we all have vodka. We all have gin. We all have tequila, I have mezcal, and we all have tequila. I dropped my tequila in place of mezcal, but it was on the original list. So vodka, gin, and tequila are I think those are the most important.
Because they're very versatile when it comes to cocktailing. Like
So
can
is rum.
any
Like
cocktail with especially with vodka because it doesn't have any flavor. Add the flavor that you want. If you want to do a cosmopolitan, cranberry. If you want to do Manhattan, just extra olive oil, olive
oil. What kind of?
olive juice. I'm sorry. I was just thinking about olive oil for some reason. Like I'm hungry.
Clearly,
And all of
What's
these
up,
things. And if you want
What's
to do the exact same thing, but like on a more citrus flavor, you use gin.
For Manhattan?
If you want to do
Dude.
martini.
you mean martini?
Martini.
No, but the difference between a martini and a Manhattan is Manhattan is going to be using your sweet vermouth versus dry vermouth, and you're also going to have bitters in a Manhattan, whereas martinis generally don't have bitters.
No, I misspelled the words. I wanted to say martini. Vodka.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I understood that's what I understood this week.
Not a Manhattan.
all right. Well, just take it from someone who of the three of us, one of us is bartended professionally.
Yeah.
I would argue I probably spent the most time at bars though.
Right, but there's a very big difference between which side of the bar you're on, and I did it for 3 years behind the bar.
How was it? How was the experience behind the bar? Did you get like
Are there any bartenders
any
watching right
bartending
now?
experience? Like what
Fast
was
or
it
don't?
to be behind the bar, serving people that probably were over intoxicated, or when a good-looking chick comes to you and goes like, "Hi, I think I want this, but my friend wants another thing. Can you hook us up?" Have you ever had one of those experiences? And what?
Well, I'm not. The thing is, I never gave free drinks to anybody that came out and asked for them. If you ever got a free drink from me, it was because either I had extra from like a previous drink or whatever, so I could just pour another glass because it's already been sunk, or like you've been spending time building a relationship with me, or you are a regular or whatever. But if you just walk in and try and like be a pretty face and get a free drink out of me, you're not getting anywhere. Like I've got to take care of myself, and I've got to take care of the bar. I've got to take care of the owner who's paying for the liquor. So yeah, you're never going to get a free drink from a bartender that way. And if you are, then I wouldn't trust the drink that he's making.
Were you a bartender that used to drink at a bar? For example, if I come with Justin and Adam and I go like, "Hey, we had an amazing day, this and that, let's do shots."
Are you having a shot with us as the bartender?
Yeah, are you having a shot with us as a bartender?
I would generally have a shot with a customer. Now the thing is, I never got drunk behind the bar, not once. Now I would have a drink behind the bar, but I knew when to pace myself, and I knew when to say, like, if I had more than about one drink an hour, I knew to shut it down. I would usually have a drink towards the end of my shift as I was cleaning down the bar, but while I was serving, especially if I was busy, I usually didn't have time to have a drink behind the bar because I had to just get to the next customer. But if it was slow, I would have a drink with you. But yeah, when I was bartending, if my favorite thing was when people would come in and didn't really know what they wanted, and I got to kind of scope it out and build a custom drink for them, where I'd say, what are you in the mood for? And they'd say the flavor profile that they wanted, and then I would build it for them.
So you are a mixologist, basically, not just a
Yeah.
bar. The bartender
Yeah.
will prepare you drinks based on the menu that they have. And if, for example, for some reason that day I feel like I want something sweet, and I'm a bitter person, I want something sweet, yet on the bitter side of it. And,
Yeah, well, you can craft a drink that has both aspects.
Yeah, I know how to make this drink for you, while a bartender will just be like, well, I have this drink that is set on the menu.
Let me ask a quick question. Sorry to interrupt. I want to ask, if you guys are watching it live, I want to know what your favorite drink is. I want to give a couple of shout outs to some favorite drinks. And then Dave, I got a question for you. What's your most ordered drink as a bartender?
Can you repeat that?
What's your most ordered drink as a bartender? If you're watching this, let me know what your favorite drink to order at a bar is.
The most ordered drink was usually just going to be a highball, usually like a vodka soda. I served more vodka sodas or just like a bourbon and Coke or something. When it came to actual cocktails, the bar that I was at, people tended to just like it. It wasn't a cocktail bar. I could serve cocktails, but that wasn't what the bar was designed to do. So I would say the most popular drink was probably like I served more vodka sodas than probably anything else. But other basic stuff like we get a fair amount for margaritas, and then mules and mojitos. I made a ton of.
And mules for the summer, Moscow mules, even Kentucky mules.
Yeah, so we had a whole bunch of different variants on mules, and we also, it's not part of the traditional recipe, but we would add mint to our mules, and they were really good.
Isn't that part of the meal, like the mint?
Mint? No, mint is not part of the original recipe.
Yeah, classic old fashioned. I think that's a good one. Paloma. What's a Paloma?
Paloma is basically just
Paloma tequila with pineapple, right?
Oh, grapefruit juice.
Grapefruit juice, that's close.
Yeah.
Okay, let me know what's in a Paloma.
It's
Martini, champagne, Bud Light, Heineken, or Miller. Those are way different beers. Bud Light, Heineken, and Miller are way different beers. Pinot Noir, or a dry martini with stuffed olives. So what's okay? So then I want to get a little further into this building your own bar. What you're gonna stock behind the bar. But let me just ask, what's your go-to drink, Andres, when you hit a bar?
Tequila soda.
Tequila soda. James, what's your
classic.
go-to?
Hemingway daiquiri.
Hemingway daiquiri. What's a Hemingway daiquiri? Strawberry.
No. What you're thinking about is cruise ship tourist bartending daiquiris. Hemingway daiquiri is going to be grapefruit juice, Luxardo, and rum.
I gotta pick up a bottle of Luxardo. Okay, that sounds good. I think.
But I look. Daiquiris were my go-to drink, and it was also my way of testing whether or not a bartender knew what they were talking about.
Well,
Because
a lot of bartenders are gonna know what a Hemingway daiquiri is.
no, but if you go into a bar so this is one of these conversations that I had with other bartenders that knew what they were talking
Whoever
about.
said Long Island iced tea, you're ratchet.
Yeah, but just trust me on this one.
Yeah.
Because I like talking with other bartenders that were more experienced and more knowledgeable than me. I would throw this test question out to them, and they would say, "Yeah, that's a good one." Where if you want to know whether or not the person that's serving you drinks knows their cocktails, ask for a daiquiri. And if they say we don't have a blender, or do you want?
Yeah.
Right. So let me start by.
What's a daiquiri and what's a Hemingway daiquiri?
So,
All right, so let me just explain this, and we'll get to the Hemingway daiquiri. So, daiquiris have been perverted into this blended drink with ice and like strawberry mix and rum, and that's not what a daiquiri is. The classic recipe on a daiquiri is extremely simple. It's just 3 ingredients. It's rum, lime juice, and sugar. Shake it up, strain it over rocks. That's it. Now, you can do a whole bunch of different variants on it. I personally like, if I'm going to do a daiquiri, I like a splash of triple sec. It sweetens it up and smooths out the drink. Hemingway daiquiri is named after Ernest Hemingway, and he liked the drink with grapefruit juice instead of lime juice And for the sweetener element, he liked Luxardo, which is a cherry liqueur.
Yeah, instead of sugar. Simple
Right.
sugar.
Right. So he used Luxardo instead, and it's a really wonderful drink when it's made properly. But that's one where any bar, it's an extremely basic drink. Any bar should be able to make it, and any bartender should know it. But if you've got someone who's just in the business of slinging drinks because at high volume and doesn't really know their alcohol, they just happen to know how to open a bottle of beer quickly and bring out a ticket quickly.
What are the
Then
measurements for regular daiquiri and Hemingway daiquiri?
so regular daiquiri, rum, lime juice, sugar.
What are the measurements?
The
Like
Doors,
the ounces for the ounces of alcohol, ounces of simple syrup, and lime juice.
So I never get, so as a bartender, I never get bogged down in measurements. Is one of the key skills of being a bartender is being able to have a feel. So like when I was training bartenders, one of the things I told them was,
Hang on, just what we want to know. What we want to know is if he wanted to go home and make a daiquiri,
exactly.
what's he putting in?
Yeah.
He's putting how much rum? Is it
equal. If you're making it at home and like to start out, go with equal parts.
Equal parts.
so equal part lime juice, equal part rum, and equal part?
Simple.
Sorry.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. And then you try and you see how it tastes, and then you adjust.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. So, so here's my thing. If I show up to a bar, because I want to move on from this. If I go to a bar and it's a decent place, meaning it's not a jam-packed bar, which I hate anyways. Like you got to stand behind somebody and try to get a drink. But if you're sitting at the bar and it looks like a decent bar, I'll usually do an old fashioned just as kind of a go-to. Old fashioned is somewhat easy to fuck up if you're at the wrong place, but it's a pretty solid drink and I like it.
I think an old fashioned depends a lot on the Manhattan that you do.
What do you mean Manhattan?
On the on the bourbon or rye that you use, or scotch that you normally use. Because you don't use anything but the spirit, the bitters, and the sugar. Basically, it's a pure cocktail. So it's very important to actually find out the whiskey.
All right, hear me out on this. I'm okay. I'm okay with I'm okay with doing what do we say?
Dewars.
No, not Dewar. That's Scotch. I'm okay with Evan Williams. That's fine with me when it comes to a what do you call it? An old fashioned. So if I go to a bar, it looks like a decent bar, I'll do an old fashioned. All right. If it's a packed bar or like a club or a lounge, I'll do a Jack and Diet, or a Scotch like a Dewar's and Diet. And if I'm at a really nice place, I'll look through the list and ask them what they like the best or what they recommend. And that at that point you're paying $18 to $20 a cocktail.
Yeah.
If I'm going to a nice place like ROKC, that's $20 a cocktail. I'm gonna order a complex drink. If it's a busy place, I don't want to be a jackass and order a 5-ingredient, 4 different.
Yeah, and that's basic bar etiquette. Whereas you judge how busy it is and build your complexity of the drink order based on that. So yeah, if the bar is slammed, you're not ordering a drink that takes 2 or 3 minutes to make. Go with a highball and move on with your life.
Just go tequila soda, gin and tonic, vodka cranberry, whatever.
Right. All those are highballs.
Yeah. So Adam just popped in.
What's up, everybody?
So we got Adam and Andres over here on the casting couch.
All right, so let's talk about the ingredients. So now you've got your liquor for the bar. Let's talk about the other things that you need to stock your bar. So let's start with fresh ingredients and mixers. And what I would say you want as for your mixers is I would say you want soda water, tonic water, and I would also say Coke.
Oh,
those are
very important.
Yeah. Right. So have those as your 3 mixers, and then I would also recommend having fresh squeezed lemon juice and lime juice. You can do bottled orange juice, and you could do
Coke or any other cola.
Yes.
To clarify for Andres.
Right. So those are going to be your mixers. I would say you want to have lemon and lime juice, and you can fresh squeeze that. And then you can do bottled
lemon
orange
or
juice.
lime.
So-
Lemon or lime.
So that's fair.
And you said regular orange juice.
Regular orange juice is fine.
You're going to keep these things on the regular at home. You're going to keep these things in stock at home.
So if I were regular keeping up a bar, I would have just a stock of lemon and limes, and then I would juice them as needed. And I have little squeeze bottles that I'll just put the juice into.
So you're gonna fresh squeeze your own. You're not gonna keep them and squeeze them on the spot.
I mean, that's the difference between a regular cocktail or like a
Well, it depends on how much.
5 stars.
No, but we're talking about home bar.
Exactly.
I find
Keep 5 or 6 lemons and limes just in your fridge, and when you know that you're going to need to use them, just slice them up and juice them. It doesn't take long.
Do you drink a cocktail
This feels like a meeting.
once per day? Do you drink just on the weekends? So
Hopefully
based on
not.
that, if you drink on the weekends, then every Friday go out there to buy groceries and whatever, and you buy
every time I buy groceries, I get lemon. And usually,
Yeah, and the thing is, as soon as you squeeze them, they've got a pretty short shelf life, 3 or 4 days, and then it goes bad. Whereas if you keep them just like uncut, then they'll stay in your fridge for a week and a half or so fine.
I
That's
get
the unpopular opinion where I actually get bottles of lime and lemon when I stop.
Don't do that.
But we don't end up using it anyway.
No, don't do that. Any of that stuff that's bottled and from concentrate or whatever tastes terrible.
So so is bottled orange juice and all the other stuff and apple juice. It's all concentrated.
no. But making a drink with a bottle of lime juice versus squeezing lime into the drink is not.
No
It's
doubt.
completely different.
No doubt. But if you're regularly stocking a bar and you may not want to have to go out every 3 to 4 days when
That's what we're
we
saying.
have 3 people.
We're
sitting in a
talking
room
about
that
at home.
are,
Yeah,
we're talking about at home.
And what I'm saying is you can go out, you can buy,
Somebody just said get a tree, which is a really good idea. I think a lemon tree or a lime tree, if you're in the right climate, which
We're leaving
we are
New York,
not
by
in
the
New
way.
York.
I have
yeah.
a plant that's been growing for a year and a half. I'm probably 3 more years away before
You
it's
have a lemon plant?
I do.
All right, so those are my mixer recommendations. It's not a terrible idea to have like a little bottle of like maraschino cherries and a bottle of olives. Olives keep forever, so you can just have those. And then when it comes to the durable goods, I recommend having a cocktail shaker set in 3 sizes. Have a set of metal tins. Have a 16 ounce, an 18 ounce, and a 24 ounce one. So that way you can make different size cocktails with the 2-piece. You're gonna want your basic bar strainer, either 2 or 4 prong. I would recommend having a second strainer, one of those fine mesh strainers, if you want to make sure that you're double straining a drink. If you've got pulp in the drink and you want to have it come through with no pulp or texture in the drink. And then basic bar knife, basic bar cutting board. And then for glassware, I would recommend just a simple set of highball glasses, a set of Collins glasses, and then either coupe glasses or martini glasses if those are the kind of drinks you're looking for. But highball and Collins glasses will take care of most of your drinks.
I got a quick question for you guys. In terms of the cutting board for a bar, what would you guys recommend would be the best for the cutting board at a bar?
Plastic or wood?
Plastic.
What's the difference between a highball and a Collins glass?
Collins glasses are the taller, thinner tubes, whereas the highball is your basic rocks glass.
I would have thought a highball was closer to a Collins glass.
Yeah, I thought that the ball were the exact same thing.
No, so you know those blue glasses I got from that bottle? Those are Collins glasses. They're much thinner tubes.
Yeah. Collins glasses are going to be like 6 or 7 inches high and maybe hold like 8 or 9 ounces.
What do you mix with Hennessy? Ice. You mix ice with
Have
You
you
can
tried
make
Henny
pina
Coladas?
So
Coladas are delicious.
cognac, you can make a brandy sour. You can make a sidecar. Those are some classics.
Okay.
What is a sidecar?
It's cognac.
Sidecar is going to be brandy, lemon juice, and triple sec.
Sounds nice.
So what were you saying about cutting board?
Yeah, just like, what do you guys recommend? Like, I have a marble one, but
You don't want a marble.
I don't know how good that is. And I also
James,
have a,
tell them why you don't want a marble cutting board.
You're going to dull the ever-loving crap out of your knife on a marble one. You want a cutting board. I recommend like the hard plastic cutting boards because they're easy to clean and they're easy to disinfect. What?
Somebody just asked, is this home for an alcoholic?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
We don't name call people.
This is
That's not
SipTalk.
nice.
This is SipTalk. You're watching live. So,
But yeah, no, a marble one's terrible. And the other thing is I really like for bar knives, I like using a ceramic knife for two reasons. One, they're super sharp and they're great for cutting fruit. And two, it's not metal, it's ceramic. So that way, if you cut the fruit and the fruit sits out for a little bit, the fruit won't corrode or spoil because it didn't pick up anything from the metal knife. So a ceramic knife is great.
you have
And the thing is, if you're using a ceramic knife on a marble cutting board, you're going to ruin the knife. You're going to cause chips in the ceramic knife and all sorts of stuff. So go with a hard plastic cutting board.
Okay, that's good to know.
You don't want to use a wood cutting board because the wood a wood cutting board will absorb oils and stuff. And so you can start to get some spoiling with the wood, and the stuff that you cut might pick up any flavors that are left over on that cutting board. If anything spoils or goes rotten on the cutting board, now that's getting picked up by your ingredients that you're cutting now. Whereas a plastic one, you can scrub the ever-loving crap out of it with soap, rinse it off, and it's back to being sterile.
Yeah, because I have my own home bar that we constructed during quarantine. So I've been sort of learning all about different bar etiquettes. This is just really important.
Yeah, plastic cutting board.
All my
100%.
archives, not archives, our archives.
Andres just learned the English pronunciation of archives today.
And they're on our archives, archives. So one of the things that one of the bartenders or mixologists told me once was like, it doesn't matter about the alcohol that you use, the spirit. What matters is
the spirit in which you pour the spirit.
It's the love in the drink that
No.
you make.
It's how fresh ingredients that you use it to create that cocktail that matter, because there's a
How
huge
fresh are the
difference.
ingredients? I like mine
There's-
aged.
I mean, he cuts the line right there and he squeezes it right there, right in front of your eyes.
So he's got a good point there, is that you can use extremely good spirits, but if your mixers are crap, then it doesn't matter.
It's gonna ruin the whole thing.
Agreed.
That's
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, like the highest end bars, you're going to be having them squeeze the fruit right away. And
good, whatever ingredients that you use to create this cocktail, you're gonna have so much better results at the end of it. So it's not about the spirit itself; it's about how fresh your ingredients are.
well, it's both. Like if you use crap liquor, it's also going to affect the drink. But if you have to pick between one of the two, the fresh ingredients are going to make more of an impact on the quality.
Well, first off, I feel like we're all in our mid to late 20s here, if not early 30s. I'm still buying like Pinnacle vodka or Svedka anyway. It's a little bit higher grade than
Well,
that.
it depends. I mean, I buy, if I'm having a party, I buy handles of.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, we're late to the party on the pricing because we already did that segment. But yeah, I would say that if you get your tins, you get your shaker tins, your strainer, your cutting board, a ceramic knife, a muddler, and a bar spoon. You get the barsupplies.com. You can get all of those things for pretty cheap, much cheaper than you would be able to get in a retail store, and that'll get you set up with all the tools that you need.
Yeah, and you can buy it as a set. You get a decent set, and that's going to go.
But barsupplies.com is whenever I need to buy bar tools, which it's been a while now, but that's the best site for getting stocked.
Yeah, once you have, we'll throw some links in there on the YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, I have some good links down below for some bar supplies, which is pretty much what I stock my bar with tool wise is what James.
Well, that's because I kind of advised you that way.
Yeah, exactly. I think he gave me. Did you give me a bar mat? I think you might.
I did give you a bar mat.
And you also gave me. I think a shaker thing.
I don't know, maybe. But if I didn't give you a shaker, then I at least advised you as to what kind of shakers you wanted to buy.
So now when it comes to, just because Adam's here now, he's only here limited time. We're lucky to have Adam in our company, limited time only. He'll be leaving soon. I'm going to catch him on the comments in 1 second. And then I want to talk about building a bar or where you're putting these things in your house, what's most cost effective, what's best for you. My stance has changed a little bit based on where I am, but previously I know I was in the same mindset where Adam is now. But let me just look through some of these comments real quick. They said, buy New Amsterdam is the way to go. A Hennessy Martini, I've never heard of that.
That's
The better alcohol, the less mixers. Nobody pours a 25-year-old. Nobody pours a 25-year-old Scotch and adds mixers. That is definitely correct. I going out a lot. I watch people drop $600, $700, $800 on a bottle of something, which is not an $800 bottle, but it's at most probably a $200 bottle. You know, in New York, you can go to a club and you can get a bottle of Johnny Walker for $500, or you get a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue for $800, or you can get like a Corbel champagne for $250.
Yep.
But at this point, like the prices don't really.
Nothing equates. It's not like walking into a liquor store.
You're paying basically for clout in the bar. But I watch a lot of people mix really nice stuff.
Instagram.
But I mean that's what it is. You're taking pictures of yourself drinking this nice bottles. But I see people pouring really nice bottles and mixing it with cranberry juice, orange
Oranges, yeah.
or apple juice, which is like you're drinking a 25-year-old Scotch with fucking apple juice like you're 3 years old. Like it doesn't fucking correlate. Like I'm sorry.
That's one mixer that in my 3.5 years of bartending, I never once used apple juice.
I don't think I've drinking apple juice in probably 30 years.
There's some cocktails you can make with it though. I just never tried it. But
Oh yeah, the vomit inducer, good one. Yeah, that's up.
I just feel like it's such high sugar though. I would not.
But I want to talk real quick about making a bar at home yourself. So we kind of outline the supplies. We got the basics: a gin, vodka, tequila, a whiskey or scotch or both. James is going with a triple sec, and the bitters is smart. He's got a rum on there. Andre's got a mezcal. I tried to get a mezcal and a tequila in. I ran out of money. So we're looking at $100 here.
Okay.
And then, but it depends on the person. Yeah. For me, I would probably go with 2 nice bottles and then 1 bottle that I can mix. Or maybe like a tequila for some margaritas and then
What's the occasion?
This is your home bar. It's the
home bar.
So
$100.
So and then James added on some soda tonic, some Coca-Cola, and lemons, limes, oranges, cherries, and that was the last thing in olives. So you got these things. You got a pretty good bar. You want to stock the stuff at home. Now, you could go with a conventional bar cart, which is where I am right now. I got a nice bar cart in my apartment. I mean, on the top of the cart, I have, James, you seen this bar cart?
Yeah.
On the top, I have tequila and some mezcal, which I think just looks cool on the top because I got some skulls and some glassware. And then the bottom is just the rest of the bar.
And then you also have fake lemons and limes.
Yeah.
That at some point I thought it was actually limes and lemons, and I took one of those and I was like,
Yeah, he tried to cut a fake lemon. Yeah.
Nice.
Then I threw it back into it. I was like, oh, check.
You didn't realize how perfect it looked? Like, it was so perfect, it didn't even look like it was real.
It was strong.
Nice bourbon with a single maraschino cherry. So the Luxardo cherries are the best cherries in my opinion. Adam,
of course.
James, have you had Luxardo cherries?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's good. That's good for. So let me ask, do you have a bar set up down there, James? Obviously not in the.
Not anymore. No, I don't drink enough to justify keeping all the stuff that I need in stock.
All right, fair
You
enough.
better off than the rest of us.
So I have a little bar cart and I have a little rack for some scotch. Adam, on the other hand,
He has a whole bar.
Adam has a whole bar, almost as big as the one we had in about half the size of the one we had in South Carolina, because that was enormous.
Yeah.
It was really hot.
Yeah. Maybe next time we'll tell the story of me and Scott and Iceberg.
Yeah, bad idea. Bad idea. There's some stories you shouldn't tell because people will think badly of
Yeah.
Stories, especially when you're live. So we in South Carolina, what we did was, what I did was I decided I want to buy a bar or build a bar. So I went to Home Depot and I bought a miter saw.
You should also no, hold on a second. We should back up a little bit to this story. So this was like Labor Day weekend. Both Justin and I had like the weekend completely off, and so either Saturday or Sunday, and we both had Monday off. We just went out to like the liquor store or whatever, and just spent like the entire day drinking. And so towards the end of the day, we're both just drunk out on like the balcony, like bullshitting. And Justin talks about, hey, he wants to build a bar. And like, yeah, like I'm drunk, so it sounds like a great idea. Yeah, sure, we'll buy a bar. And then I go to sleep. I wake up the next day, and I don't think anything of it. About a week later, I come home at 3:00 in the morning, and damn near kill myself because it's pitch black in the apartment, and I didn't know that Justin had gone to Home Depot. I just trip over like boards that have nails sticking up out of them.
Probably screws.
And like a circular saw that has like the sheath uncovered and just the blade out. So like if I trip over that, like I'm just gonna land and like cut my head off or whatever.
Well, what I did was I went to Home Depot and I bought a miter saw. I think maybe a miter saw and a circular saw. I don't know. But both you can use. And then I bought a bunch of lumber. But I just bought the lumber. So I bought I bought treated lumber. Like you would build an outdoor deck with. This shit was heavy.
Yeah.
Like a 2x4 weighs twice as much as a normal 2x4. And I bought 4x4s. So this thing was built like a deck. This is a solid.
That was taking forever to cut through.
This bar could weather the storm. And I started building the frame at night. And I didn't have extension cords, so I used Christmas lights to power the circular saw and the miter saw, and I built the frame, and then it was late at night, I gave up on it, and James came home after a few drinks and wound up getting all caught up in the frame of the bar in the pitch black.
Not for James, of course, but
It's funny now.
I only get a bottle of Jack, and I'll drink it from the coffee mug. All right, fair enough. That's some serious. But then we went out to build this bar. It's a nice black bar. I got a metallic gold paint. The gold paint we used for the trim. And then the interior was a bit raw, I think. The interior was really raw.
Yeah, we didn't have too much on the interior.
And then we had some shelves in the back. We ended up having a nice Molson mirror. And then we used the Christmas lights, which a lot of them were blown out. We used the Christmas lights as an interior light for the bar. I'm going to post pictures of this in the YouTube. If you're watching now, you want to see this thing. I'll include some pictures in the YouTube video. And, but there was mostly red radiating from the bar. So it looked kind of badass, I thought.
it's a nice color for an evening.
Yeah, and then we could also use it as like a place to put the projector.
Oh yeah, and then we mounted the projector on the bar and projected over the fireplace mantle, which is cool. We didn't have a TV. We didn't have a TV. I bought a TV and never plugged it in.
For what reason behind that?
How did I end up with that TV? Do you remember?
No.
I don't remember either. So either way, we had this bar down there. James got rid of it.
Yeah, because you moved out and I needed the space.
And what do you have in the space?
A couch now.
All right. So now, and then when I moved to Queens, I built a bar in that apartment.
Right. That one had leather trim on it.
I wrapped it in vinyl, which was I don't know what the thinking was of wrapping it in vinyl, but it seemed pretty cool. And I built it in pieces because I knew when I moved it would be easier to move out. So actually, like it went together kind of like Legos.
But you didn't bring that with you.
No, I did. I had to move myself, and it was it was a pain in the ass to have to fucking move. So that was that on the Queens bar, and then I haven't had a bar, and then you decided you want a bar.
Yeah, well, I mean, fucking quarantine.
James, have you seen pictures of Adam's bar?
No, you can share with me after the stream.
We can add it to the YouTube.
We'll throw that on there. It's the You know the furniture that's like aviation style furniture that has the riveted.
Yeah, so it,
The rivet is what I'm looking for. The riveted sheet metal on the outside. It looks like an old school airplane.
Okay.
so it's basically got like metal patchwork of like rivets and stuff like that all the
Okay, that's cool.
and then it's got a bit of a curve to it on the side, so it's easier for it to walk through. But I had to make it sort of a custom fit because the way it was sort of fit in a living room, I have a pretty big space, but I wanted to make it easy for people to get past it, but still like not having something too large or overbearing in the room or the space. But we went to Home Depot during quarantine, which we waited outside on a long
That
line,
is true.
6 feet
That is
apart for an hour and a half on a rainy Sunday. And, we built the frame up. And of course, as we're building, we're drinking and kind of dragged the process on a little longer because we got a little drunk because we all like to drink here.
I didn't think we drank that much.
It was the beer I picked. I picked from this local bar for dinner and stuff because I wanted to buy him dinner as a thank you for helping me. And, I ordered
Where's my
some
dinner?
beer that was like 10 or 12% alcohol, and they gave us like some soup container sizes of this beer each. We
Oh
finished
yeah,
them,
it was a
and
a
like
big
I'm not
container.
gonna lie, I had some issues trying to draw straight lines to cut the wood. But after about 3 weeks?
Adam did not frustrate us.
No, not by the end of the night. But it was, we put the frame together. There's kind of raw, just like your first bar that you had down in South Carolina. But I'm fine with that. I don't really care about what goes on behind the bar. I care more about the front end of it. We did a wood top, stained it. It's a nice, like, dark cherry wood. But during quarantine, I got pretty creative with the idea of making different cocktails and figuring out how to make different types of drinks. Got a whole
But let's talk about how we did it. Let's talk about how we did it. So
Let's start
we've
from
talked about
Home
the
Depot.
drinks. Let's talk about how we did it. So what we did was we bought some 2x4s, and we built a frame for the bar.
Yes.
And then with this bar, we bought some reasonably thin plywood,
Yeah.
and we created kind of the face of the bar. And did we do the top first?
No, we did the base first. Then
So
we
we
went
did the base of the bar, and then we put the metal on?
No, then we did one level of a shelf in the middle, and then we did the top shelf, right?
Okay.
Or
Can you-
rather, just the top part of
Can
the
you
bar.
grab John's drink out of it? So we built the skeleton, and then we put the facing on it, and then we took this
Freezer.
top freezer. We took a what do we use? Sheet.
We used actually stuff for a roof. It's like stuff that goes on these shingles.
We use flashing. We
Flashing,
use aluminum
that's what it is,
flashing,
yes.
and we use different sizes. So it had a pretty cool look. We angled some of it, and then we screwed it in with some nice, shiny-looking silver screws.
Which we initially bought, I think, about 8 boxes of
We
screws.
bought so many
50 screws
goddamn screws for this thing.
I had to go back twice after that to Home Depot. I got another 10 boxes. We used all those. Then I had to buy another 5 boxes. I think that's what, a total of like over 1,000 screws that we had to use.
I mean, there was some, because basically every inch along the edge of this
has to have a screw.
we screwed in. James, you haven't seen this bar, right?
No.
It wasn't up there when you were here in.
Last time I was there was January, so no.
Yeah, so it's a pretty impressive bar. I think very impressive bar.
We fucked up the stain the first time we did it because we tried to rush doing the stain right away. But we didn't clean up enough when we sanded it down, so it was very rough feeling. But I sanded it down once more, and then I did a second coat, and now it's got a nice seal to it.
What's the all-in out of pocket? What's the out of pocket?
So the initial bar I wanted to buy, which I replicated it off of, would have cost me about $2,900 with shipping and handling. And this one out of pocket in total, including the chairs, or not including?
Not including the chairs. No, because the other one didn't come with the chairs.
True. I was at about $475 in total.
You think that much?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
And the supplies
$2
too.
per pack.
Don't forget, I had to buy certain
What do
supplies.
you mean you had to buy so? I bought a miter saw.
Yes, which is still
Okay.
sitting in my house.
Okay.
But that was about it, though. Maybe actually, because I returned some stuff. So let's go to an even.
I'm saying under. I was going to say 375 tops.
So I was just. I'd have to look back now, but I'd say anywhere from 425 to 450.
I'd say under $400.
I think.
You bought aluminum flashing.
First time we went,
and
it
you
cost
bought-
me $330. First time we went.
and we returned some of that stuff.
True, but I had to buy more stuff too. All right, so let 375 to 425. I'd have to look back in the receipts,
But yeah,
Either way,
I
we're
think
talking
that the
pretty cheap.
$400 mark, and this is a badass bar. It looks like Restoration Hardware. It looks like buying something from like Touch of Modern for $3,000, which is supposedly a deal. It was probably originally like a $7,000 thing. They're selling you at a discount for $2,900. Restoration Hardware would have cost you like $12,000. Now, it wasn't as solid as probably a Restoration Hardware one would be, and we built it ourselves, so we know the flaws that it has.
yeah, fair.
That's sentimental value.
But
That's
it's,
true,
it's
too.
badass, and it was handmade, and hopefully you don't get rid of it anytime soon.
Oh hell no.
We got it ready before Cinco de Mayo.
And
That
we
was
did.
actually the biggest reason why.
and we
rushed to
made
make
it
it happen.
for Cinco de Mayo to hopefully have a serving station for some Cinco de Mayo.
Problem is,
drinks.
it was so good for alcohol, we forgot the food.
True.
Props to
Beluga.
Vanessa. Props to Vanessa.
Yes.
Vanessa, if you listen to this, you were the savior of that night, because otherwise we would have died of alcohol poisoning.
Thank you.
Oh,
She
yeah.
was the one with the food. She was the one who cooked us all.
It was
Oh, my
quite the
Yo,
amount.
so I got to bounce. My computer's about to die since I'm using the laptop here.
All right. Well, I appreciate you joining. We're going to wrap up here. We're going to talk about some drinks. I want anybody who's watching. I want to hear about some drinks in a minute. I want to ask you guys some questions. So
Let me throw one recommendation for a drink out there before I go.
All right. Quick recommendation.
Clover Club cocktail.
Clover Club cocktail.
What is it?
that?
What is that?
I'll leave you all with that. You can look it up.
Wow, bro.
All right.
We don't have
Text
bars.
And I'll tell you, it's going to be gin, raspberry reduction sauce, lemon juice, and egg white.
All right. So you better be drinking one of those next time we next SipTalk next week.
It's a pain in the butt to make the raspberry redux sauce. Either that or the French 75. French 75 is good too.
French 75, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do the French 75. That's great.
But I got to bounce. I will see you on Tuesday for whatever topic comes next.
All right. See you Tuesday,
All
James.
right.
See you, James. Take
All
care,
right,
man.
so
You'll be good.
We're gonna dig in a little bit here. Let's see what happens when he clicks off. We're still live on here. I want to ask a little bit more about drinks, and I want to hit some of these comments real quick and see where we go from there. So Beluga vodka,
Good vodka.
that is good
Yes.
vodka. I have
Russian
a bottle
vodka.
of that also at home, by the way. So there's
It has a beluga on the bottom.
Has a
right?
big whale, yeah. Okay, and what else we got here? All right, any questions you guys want to ask real quick for anybody who's watching? Does anybody who's watching have a home bar? Because we get a
Oh,
decent
that's
amount of
actually-
TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. A decent amount of people that are watching here.
Yeah, find me on TikTok, man. You can see the whole bar being made.
Yeah, Adam does have the whole bar being made on. Did we tag you on my post? Or the Home Depot post or something like that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Does anybody
check
who's
my
watching have
archives
a
on
home bar?
IG. I have like
I have a ton of alcohol.
Archives. And it was French.
Well, you know, those chives have a lot of flavor.
Hey, I'm kind of curious. I see this frosé thing becoming bigger and bigger for the summertime. And since we're
You
gonna,
missed out last year. Last year when we went to my
That-
friend's
Last
birthday,
year was a year.
it was
for
just a year of rosé and what?
Margarita, no room, shelf. Yeah, if you have a bar shelf, I think that's pretty impressive to have a little bar shelf.
the bar shelves, the bar cart, and the bar now.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, on that note, I gave you our best advice for how to stock a bar. I gave you our best advice on how to build a bar. I'll see if I can throw in if you subscribe to the YouTube channel SipTalk, you watch us on YouTube, I'll include some of what we talked about, the bar
Links.
items that you want to have in your home bar, the vodka, the gin. If you're watching on YouTube, you can click on the link below and you'll see the link to the Amazon store that actually has the stuff that I have in my home bar, which is pretty cool.
What was the name? No, what was the link? James Bar
Bar
Supply?
Supply. I don't want to mess it up. I think it's barsupply.com. I'll find out. I'll throw that in the YouTube as well. And then we talked about building a bar, so I'm going to include some cool pictures. Hang tight. You'll see these pictures. Fortunately, if you're watching live, you're not going to see them. But we will catch you next time on episode 33 of SipTalk. I hope you're subscribing, because that's what we need to keep doing this. We need subscribers. We need user feedback. And we don't need any money. We're pretty cheap here. But we love the subscribers. We love you guys for watching. We are out. All right, so you got our points of view on building a bar. I'm curious, what do we miss? What would you put in the bar? Throw in the comments. I want to know what's your favorite spirit? What's your favorite cocktail? What's your go-to drink when you want to make a drink at home?